Article links. In this video I'm going to talk about how to get backlinks from article sites and what they are. So a lot of you may already be familiar with getting a backlink from an article site. Some of you who are completely new to search engine optimization may not understand that yet. So we want to cater for everybody in the academy, so I'm going to just explain quickly what an article link is. You can write a piece of content, say a 600-word article, and you can then go to places known as article directories. The most obvious one and popular one is called ezinearticles.com. And what these article directories do is allow you to publish your article on their domain. And they take your content and then they load it onto their domain, and then it's live on the internet. And the way you get a backlink is these article sites allow you to put links in your article. So they usually allow you to put it in the author resource section at the bottom of the article, or some of them allow you to put the links directly inside the article itself. And that way, when Google comes along and finds that article that's published on the net, Google will also find the links inside that article, and bingo, you have yourself a backlink to your website. There are literally hundreds upon hundreds of article sites out there that you can do this for. But it's not quite as straightforward as that. There's a couple of things to do in order to make sure you get the maximum benefit from article marketing. Automation is absolutely key. When you're doing article marketing, like I said, there's hundreds of article sites that you can submit to, but doing it manually and writing all the articles and one by one submitting them to the article directories is very slow and laborious, and it's not the smartest way to go about doing article marketing. In the resource section for this video, in the Academy, there's a resource section just to remind you, and in the resources section, there's a list of all the links for each video. For this particular video, we've put a link to a software tool that we recommend that you use to automate your article submissions. It's a fantastic tool. We use it a lot, and I think I've tried a lot of the tools on the market, and this is the best. So I encourage you, use automation because it speeds everything up. And anything when it comes to SEO that allows you to save time is a good thing, because it means you can go off and get more backlinks from other places and you'll be able to make more money. So it's leveraging your time, and automation tools really are the key to this. What you also need to do is, before you submit your article to a wide range of article directories using an automation tool like the one that we recommend, you also want to make sure that your article is spun. And that's where article spinning comes into it. There's other software tools again that can help speed up the actual writing process of the articles. Because when you're submitting to article directories, remember you have to write the article and then submit it. So it's a two-pronged approach. But the key when you're writing the article is you can't just write one 600-word article and submit that to hundreds of article sites, because that'll be the same article across all these different websites. And Google refers to this as duplicate content. And Google won't penalize you for duplicate content. There's nothing like that will happen. But it won't be as advantageous to you, because Google likes to see unique content across the web. So if they see the same article in multiple places, then they'll view that backlink as really a duplicate. So they won't put as much weight on the backlinks and all these duplicate copies. But if they see original copies in all these different places, then that's definitely a more powerful effect for your backlinking. So again, in the resources section, we recommend an article spinning tool for you to use. So when it comes to article marketing, getting content written, you can do it by hand if you really want to, but it will be a lot slower. Or you can use an article spinning software tool. It will produce unique copies of your original article for you. So you write one article, and using the automation tool, it will produce hundreds of articles. You can then use that spun article in the submission tools, and that's where the other side of the automation comes into it. So just remember, article spinning, article submitting. Two different sides of article marketing, both requiring automation and automation softwares to make it happen. By doing this, you can get a huge amount of backlinks to your websites. And the automation tool that we recommend on the submission side of article marketing will drip feed your articles out to these article directories at a rate that you set. So you won't get hundreds and hundreds of backlinks in one day, because that would look unnatural. Instead, you can set it to a rate at which you can submit about 10 a day out to the article directories, which looks very natural, and that's a better way to approach your backlinking. So just remember, automation is key. When you are submitting articles to article directories, you really need to make sure that you record the URLs of where your article is. So by this I mean, if I submit an article, say to ezinearticles.com, when they publish that article on the web, it will be at there'll be a web address of where that article will be. It will be, for example, ezinearticles.com/ whatever the name of my article is. And that will be the address of where my article is on the web. It's really important to keep a track of where your content is across the web, because the next thing that you want to do is indexing. And indexing is simply where you help the search engines find your content and index it. And indexing just means adding it to their giant database of web pages. Because unless a search engine finds and adds your content to their database, then they're never going to find the links in that content. So the whole thing would be a giant waste of time. One misconception, a common misconception for people who are not experienced with SEO, is they think just because an article gets published on a website, that Google and the other search engines will instantly find it the second it was published. And that's not the case. Google do a great job, and they have what they call their Google bots that crawl websites all across the internet, finding new information all the time. But they're not everywhere at once. They can't quite do that yet. So when a brand new piece of content is added to a domain, they may not find it ever, or they may take weeks to find it. So what you can do is indexing techniques to help Google find and index your content. The sooner they find it, the sooner they put it in their index, the sooner they count that backlink to your website, and that's when you're going to start seeing the benefits from these backlinks. So we have an indexing video in the Academy which explains how to go about helping Google and the other search engines find your content, otherwise known as indexing. So you'll really need to refer to the indexing video to learn how to do that. But for now, what you need to be aware of is you need to have a record of where all your content is, because you're going to need it when you start doing your indexing techniques. You're going to need those URLs. So just record them in an Excel document where all your articles are. Now, the great thing about the tool that we recommend in the resources section for submitting your articles is that that tool keeps a record for you of where your articles are. So again, it makes life so much easier. Not only does it do all the submission on complete autopilot, where you can just walk away and forget about it, it also keeps a record of where the articles are, so that you don't have to worry about it. So again, it's just another great reason to use automation tools like the ones we recommend. So now let's look at some practical examples of what we've been talking about so far of article links and what it looks like. So the most popular article directory that people use, marketers use for backlinks, is Ezine Articles. Now, this is not the only article directory that you can use. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of article directories out there. But if we just go into any topic, we can have a look at the articles and see the backlinks that people have placed in them. Now, each article directory is slightly different in most cases. A lot of them will only allow you to have your links in the footer of the article. If we scroll down, let's just select one here. If we click on this article here, and if we scroll down, you can see this person has a link right there. That is their link. If I click on and open it, they're trying to link to this page in their website. So they're linking to a deep inner page of their website. and the anchor text that they're using is trusted advisor. So that's where they've got their backlink. If Google's found that this particular article, then Google will have counted that backlink. So what we can do, for example, is take this URL of this article. This is the public URL of the article, and we can do a Google search for it and see if Google has actually found this article. So all I do is go into Google and just paste that URL in and have a look for it. And it looks like Google does have a listing for this article. So this article has already been indexed by Google, which means that that link has been found by Google, which makes this a successful article submission to get a backlink. If Google did not have a listing when I did a search on this URL, then that article's still yet to be found by Google, and the person who created that article needs to do more indexing work to help Google find this article and to find that link right there in the article. Different article directories have different rules. Some of them will allow you to have your link in the middle of the article rather than in the last block of text. That's called the author bio section. Most of them will only allow you to have it in the author bio section, but a lot of them allow you to actually have it mid-article. And some of them will allow you to have different amounts of links, even up to 3 backlinks per article. So article marketing essentially is an easy way to get a lot of backlinks to your website, but the key things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing it is automate it as much as possible. Make sure you have your links in the article. Write unique content, and to save you having to write so much content, use an article spinning software to help produce unique copies of your original article and then submit those to hundreds of article sites using software like I mentioned in Article Marketing Robot. Keep in mind, once you've submitted them, you need to check and see if Google has indexed your articles. And if they haven't been found by Google, you need to do some more indexing work to help Google find them. The more articles Google finds, the more backlinks like these Google finds, and the higher up the search engine rankings your websites go. One last point before closing off this video: article links alone are not the most powerful backlinks that you can find, but they're a great way to get a lot of articles relatively quickly and relatively easily. And if you can get links in the middle of paragraphs like this, which would be considered, there's none in this particular example, but when you can get links in the middle of paragraphs, they're considered a contextual link surrounded by context. And they're good for search engine optimization purposes, but on their own, article backlinks are not the most powerful links, so just bear that in mind. They're just part of the overall picture. So that's all for article links. Go out there and start developing some article links and send them to your websites. Thanks very much. Bye for now.